Today we'll be dealing with exponential laws. So let's get started. Law number one will be, or rule number one will be, a to the power 0 is equal to 1 when our a is not equal to 0. Sorry, this looks like a 6, it's 0. So to remember this law, you just need to say that anything to the power 0 is equal to 1. So an example will be x over 4 minus 7 all to the power 0 is equal to 1. Our rule number 2, or law number 2, will be what I call the multiplication rule. A to the power m multiplied by a to the power n is equal to a to the power m plus n. So to remember this one is very much easier. You just say that when you're multiplying with the same basis, you add the exponents. So let me give you an example. Will be 3 to the power 4 multiplied by 3 to the power 2, which is equal to 3 to the power 4 plus 2, which will give us 3 to the power 6. Easy as that. So let's get to our law, or rule 3 of exponent. This is our negative exponent. So this will be a to the power minus n is equal to 1 over a to the power n when a is not equal to 0. So let me try to show you how we came up with this one. If you remember, we did have the negative exponent in the introduction to the exponent. So let me try to explain. Please pay very close attention. So it will be a to the power minus n. It will be equal to 1 divided by a divided by a divided by a. So a is divided n times. This will give us that 1 is divided by 1 multiplied by a multiplied by a multiplied by a multiplied n times. So this is how we came up with this, what we have here on top, what we have here. So remember that a negative exponent is another way to show that the whole exponential number is divided instead of being multiplied. So let's get to our rule 4 of the day, which I call the division rule. So here will be a to the power m divided by a to the power n will give us a to the power m minus n. So to remember this one, you just need to say that when you're dividing with the same base, you minus or you subtract the exponents. So an example will be 2 to the power 6 divided by 2 to the power 2 will give us 2 to the power 6 minus 2. So since we are dividing with the same base, we subtract the exponents instead of adding them. So here we're subtracting 2 instead of adding it. So this will give us 2 to the power 4. So let's get to the fifth rule of the day, which is open bracket a b all to the power n is equal to a to the power n and b to the power n. So let me try to explain to you how we came up with this one. A to the power b all to the power n is equal to, we see that ab multiplied by ab multiplied by ab multiplied by ab multiplied by ab, and it's multiplied n times. This will give us a multiplied by b multiplied by a multiplied by b multiplied by a multiplied by b, and so on, multiplied by a multiplied by b, and they are both multiplied n times. And when we go on, this is going to give us a multiplied by, now we are grouping the like terms together, so it give us a multiplied by a multiplied by a multiplied by a multiplied by a, and it's also multiplied n times. Multiplied by b multiplied by b multiplied by b, and so on, multiplied by a, by b, and it's also multiplied n times. So this is going to give us that a to the power n is equal to b to the power n. So an example would be 2 to the power 4, 2 y to the power 3 is equal to 2 to the power 3 and y to the power 3. So let's get to rule number 6, which will be open brackets a, let me write beautifully a, a to the power m close bracket to the power n, or everything to the power n, is equal to a to the power m n So how we came up with this one is that we made everything which is inside the bracket to be one term. So let's try to explain that. It will be a to the power m or to the power n is equal to, since we made everything to the power m, so we will be multiplying m to the power n times. So it will be a to the power m multiplied by a to the power m multiplied by a to the power m multiplied by a to the power m n times. So this is going to give us that a multiplied by a multiplied by a, so on, multiplied by a, and they're both multiplied, m n times. So here we just took everything which was outside the bracket, or the m, we just took it outside the bracket. So we're only having a's remaining. So from this point we'll be having, that's how we got a to the power mn, or a m to the multiplied by n. Let me give you an example. An example would be y to the power 3 or to the power 2 is equal to y to the power 6, since you're multiplying these two, the power 6. So let's get to the rule number 7. Rule number 7 says that the nth root of a to the power m is equal to a to the power m over n. This is, or this applies when n is greater than or equal to 2. So I will explain this one with an example. So let's just say we have square root of 4. So here is the square root of 4. So you know that when you have a square root, that's why it's called a square root, which means that it has a 2 here. And any number, if you just written as a number and there don't write a power, it means that it's always to the power 1. So it's not necessary to write a power 1, so you can just leave it without writing it, but always remember that it always has a power 1. So this is what you are going to do. From this, from a place of m, you are going to write your 1. From the place of 2, you're going to write your n. So this is going to give you 4 to the power 1 over 2. So if you remember, we said that this, or our power, just tells how many times our base is multiplied. So our 4 is multiplied by half, which is going to give us a 2. So let's get to the 8th rule. These two, I just made them one rule, so I call them, because they have the same purpose. You just evenly distribute the exponent to everything which is inside the bracket. So without further ado, let me show it to you. It will be open bracket AB or to the power x. This will give us that A to the power, B to the power x and A to the power x. You can also write A on this side and B on this side. It still means the same thing. And the other one is, so this is the first one. The second one is open bracket B over A. Let me not try to convince you. Let me write it plain. So it will be A over B, so that you don't get confused, to the power x, all equivalent A to the power x divided by B to the power x. The reason why I said they are similar or they are the same is because that you give x, or you multiply their power to every term which is inside the bracket with its power. So since here we'll be having power 1 and power 1, you multiplied it with it, you multiply x with this power, so it will be like x multiplying with the power of 1, x also multiplying with the power of b, so that's why you get b to the power x. And same here, the same thing applies. Power 1, so it's the same thing, power of, so you just distribute, or you just give them power. So this has been the exponential laws, or the laws that you need to know. Thanks for watching and enjoy the rest of your day. We hope you've enjoyed this video. So if you did, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel by clicking here, and watch more videos by clicking here. Thanks.